US state of Texas says it's reached a $1.4 billion settlement from Facebook's parent company Meta. Texas accused the company of illegally using facial recognition technology.
Kyiv's allies say the first F-16 fighter jets have been delivered to Ukraine. They'll significantly boost the country's air force. It should get about 80 of the jets, but training the pilots for them is a long process.
The US Vice President Kamala Harris has obtained enough votes to become the Democratic Party's presidential candidate in November's election. The Democratic National Committee said she achieved this, even though online voting doesn't officially end until Monday.
Japan's stock market has recorded one of the worst days in its history on the back of concerns about the US economy. Share prices on the Nikkei index fell by more than 12% in trading. The drop is also due to the strengthening of Japan's own currency, which has hit exports. Markets across Asia and Europe have also recorded falls.
A judge in Washington has ruled that Google broke the law by illegally maintaining a monopoly on online searches and related advertising. The decision is a major blow to the firm's parent company, Alphabet. It will appeal against the decision.
North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un has ordered 300,000 young people to the country's north to help a region that's been devastated by floods. North Korea has not disclosed how many people have been killed in the floods in North Pyongan province. President Biden has said he's not confident there'll be a peaceful transfer of power if Donald Trump loses the US presidential election in November. He suggested that Mr. Trump would again say the election had been stolen.
At the Paris Olympics, the United States have won a fifth consecutive gold in the men's basketball. They defeated the hosts France 98-87 in a rematch of the Tokyo final 3 years ago.
The 2024 Paris Olympic Games have officially ended with a spectacular closing ceremony. The Hollywood star Tom Cruise abseiled into the Stade de France to drive away with the Olympic flag on a motorcycle and took it to Los Angeles, the next host of the Games.
Mercedes-Benz Korea has said that the battery in an electric Mercedes that burst into flames in a car park outside Seoul last month was made by a China-based manufacturer, Ferraris. The fire damaged over 100 vehicles and led to public outrage, with some underground car parks banning electric vehicles. Japan's Prime Minister has said he will not stand in his party's leadership contest next month, clearing the way for a new premier. Fumio Kishida's popularity has been undermined by rising prices.
North Korea is set to open its borders to tourists again in December, nearly 5 years after they were closed due to COVID. Two China-based tour operators say the first place to open is the mountain city of Samji-yeon.
The leaders of South Korea, Japan and the United States have reiterated their commitment to trilateral cooperation in the Indo-Pacific. They were marking the first anniversary of last year's historic three-way agreement on military cooperation and economic security.
Police are investigating graffiti scrawled on a pillar at Tokyo's Yasukuni Shrine, which honours Japan's war dead. Yasukuni is controversial in China and South Korea, as several convicted war criminals are among those commemorated there.
South Korea's military says a North Korean soldier has walked across the heavily fortified border and defected to the south. It's thought the soldier had been working in the demilitarised zone.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has set off on a visit to Poland and Ukraine. He's refused to criticise Russia's invasion of its neighbour, and a BBC correspondent says the trip is a damage control exercise. The newly announced boss of Starbucks has come under fire after it emerged he can use a corporate jet for his marathon commute. Brian Nichol lives in California, about 1,600 kilometres from the coffee chain's headquarters in Seattle.
The head of the US Federal Reserve has said the time has come for the United States to start cutting interest rates. Jerome Powell said his confidence had grown that the battle against inflation was on track.
Two North Korean table tennis players who posed for a photograph with South Korean competitors at the Paris Olympics are reportedly facing intense scrutiny after returning home. The authorities in Pyongyang are said to be particularly irritated by one of the athletes' decision to smile for the selfie.
China's embassy in Ottawa has criticised the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau for his decision to impose a 100% tax on Chinese-made electric vehicles. Mr. Trudeau said the measure is intended to stimulate and protect EV production in his country.
North Korea has imported 24 rare Russian horses that are prized by the country's leader Kim Jong-un and sometimes used for propaganda. The Orloff trotters were delivered in special train carriages from Russia's Far East. A lawyer for the Telegram founder Pavel Durov has described accusations against his client as totally absurd. The billionaire is under formal investigation in France for allegedly failing to curb illegal content on the messaging app.
시청해 주셔서 감사합니다. 다음 시간에 뵙겠습니다.